Hey everybody, welcome back around to the Blog and Grill. I am your host Doug here with your video blog for October 22nd, 2014. A great blog planned for you today. We're going to talk a little bit about Kobe Bryant as the new article from ESPN.com has come out. Heisman race update as well as the Heisman race right now. I see it as a three-guy race right now. We'll do some injury updates in our NFL power rankings, but first I want to get to World Series Game 1. Giants beat the Royals 7-1 last night. Madison Bumgarner really showing that he has been the MVP of these playoffs for the Giants. Comes out with a solid performance, 71 strikes, 35 balls, goes 7 innings, just very good. And on the offensive side of the ball for San Francisco, it was the big guys, Buster Posey, Pablo Sandoval, and Hunter Pence, going 5 for 13 with a home run and 5 RBIs for their team. Very impressive. I think the Giants, like I said, I picked the Giants to win it in 6. I think they could lose tonight, especially with Yordano Ventura on the mound. But the other story has to be James Shields. Big game James, which what he was deemed by himself, but he has not come up big in the postseason. This postseason, he's 1-1 with a 7.11 ERA, and overall in his career, he's 3-5 with a 5.74 ERA. And this is a bad time for James Shields to be having these struggles because he will hit the free agent market at the end of the season, and his value right now is not increasing. It's definitely going down. We'll see what happens if he gets one more start in these playoffs, but he is going to have to start to pitch a little bit better because he just looks outplayed and outmatched every time he goes out there. Game 2 tonight, PB versus Ventura. I will pick the Kansas City Royals to win this one and tie it up at 1. I picked the Giants to win it in 5 or 6. I think they're just a lot better of a team. We'll see what happens, but I think Kansas City will get it done tonight. All right, time for our NFL Power Rankings. We do it every week. Starting at number 5 this week, we have the San Diego Chargers. They're 5-2. I know they lost to the Kansas City Chiefs. I still think they have a top-flight defense. If they can get that running game working a little bit better, and Phillip Rivers is still playing MVP-type quarterback, I will take San Diego at number 5. Number 4, I'm going to take the Indianapolis Colts at 5-2. I like what they've done. Their defense is getting better. Vontae Davis really leading the attack for them. Andrew Luck is probably playing the best of any player in the National Football League right now, throwing the ball, getting it to Nix, getting it to T.Y. Hilton. And the other guys that they have, Ahmad Bradshaw and Trent Richardson, are really starting to be able to run the ball more effectively, so that's going to help them. Number 3, I have the Arizona Cardinals. Now that they have their quarterback play figured out with Carson Palmer, I like what they're getting back on the defensive side. Their injuries are a lot, but they're starting to get some guys back. I like what Arizona's doing. They're at 5-1, and they are at number 3 on my power rankings. Number 2, the Dallas Cowboys. They're in at 6-1. They're probably the best team in the NFC at this point. You can make a case for them to be the best team in football. I think they have a very potent offense with a top-flight quarterback, an MVP-type running back, a big-time tight end, a good second option, and maybe right now the best wide receiver in the National Football League with Dez Bryant, with Kelvin Johnson kind of being out with an injury. So Dallas in at 6-1, they're my number 2 team. They need to get a little bit better defensively. And number 1 are the Denver Broncos. I think they're just clicking. They have the best set of offensive weapons in the National Football League. Running back position is getting a little bit better with Ronnie Hillman. And I like what Denver's doing. Peyton Manning throwing like he's throwing better than he's ever thrown the ball. Denver is number 1 at 5-1. Excuse me. Just some brief injury updates for the New England Patriots. They're going to be without Chandler Jones for 1 month with a hip injury, so he's going to miss about 1 month. We'll see how that affects them. Running back C.J. Spiller of the Bills, after that collarbone injury, has been placed on the injured reserve, but this is a different injured reserve. It's with designation for return, so he could return Week 16, and they could be in a playoff position at that point if they keep winning like they are. We'll see what they can do, but they have a very tough last month of the schedule. They need to win. They need to be right around through 12 games. I think they probably need to be right around 7-5 going into that last month. And finally, wide receiver A.J. Green for the Cincinnati Bengals. Still up in the air. That's his quote. If he will play this week against the Ravens. A huge game this week. Need to get this guy back. Need to get some more weapons. He's been out with a toe injury. We'll see if he gets back this week, as it's a big game for the Cincinnati Bengals. All right, time for our Heisman Watch update. I think the Heisman Watch race has really kind of cut itself down. Jameis Winston has been good, but hasn't been great. He also has that one game he sat out. Todd Gurley's now suspended. Amari Cooper's numbers are down just a little bit. So my number one guy right now is Dak Prescott, 1,478 yards passing, 576 on the ground, a total of 22 touchdowns, 61.5% completion percentage, which is pretty good for a guy who runs a lot, and a 165.6 quarterback rating. My number two guy, and the guy that I would pick to win the Heisman, is Marcus Mariota, 1957 on yards, 289 rushing. He has a total of 24 touchdowns. No picks for Marcus Mariota, playing some great quarterback. I think he will be likely the top quarterback to come out in the draft. 70% completions. He has a quarterback rating of 191. And finally, the running back for Wisconsin, Melvin Gordon, 1,046 rushing yards, 7.9 yards per carry, 14 touchdowns. He's just going to sneak in. He will be in New York, Melvin Gordon will, for sure. All right, Kobe Bryant. Okay, so an article comes out the other day, or I think it's out this week in ESPN, the magazine. Kobe Bryant, a lot of quotes coming out about how he's being overpaid and no one wants to play with him. But, I mean, Kobe Bryant is just at the point in his career where he would rather sleep on piles of money than make his team better, okay? That's all it comes down to with Kobe Bryant right now. You have a Jeremy Lin player who is not a very good point guard. You have Steve Nash, who's old. You got Swaggy P, Nick Young, if you will. He's hurt. You got Carlos Boozer. This team is not going to be able to stop anybody. No one wants to play with him. Kobe is very egocentric, just like Carmelo. The ball stops when it gets to him. And Kobe is a winner, but it doesn't matter. Right now, he's not good. He's not worth what he's getting paid. I think he's still going to have a good year. I could see him shooting 44% from the field, averaging 19 to 21 points per game. But I don't think his team's going to get many wins. I could see right now the Lakers finishing with right around probably 35 wins at this point, but they're just not going to get any better because they don't want to. All right, so we'll be back on Friday or Saturday morning. I think we'll be back. We're going to do football picks. We'll do our NASCAR preview for Martinsville. Just a heads up, NBA starts next week. We'll be covering the Knicks, and we'll be doing a lot of Knicks stuff. This will be a Knicks blog. College hoops in 3 weeks. We'll be talking major college basketball, and we'll also be talking a lot of Syracuse. Check me out on sportsmindednews.com. You can also follow me on Twitter at YankeeBaller415. That is YankeeBaller415. Comment, question, subscribe to my page. Thanks for tuning in to the Blog and Grill. I'll be back on Friday or Saturday. Have a great rest of the week.